Toilet seats are something we all use every day, but have you ever wondered how they are made? Factories make over 450 million toilet seats a year. That's more than the number of people in the United States. They go through a long and detailed process before they reach our homes. From melting plastic to powerful machines shaping the seat, it's a mix of science and hard work. In this video, we're going deep inside the factory to uncover how toilet seats are really made. From the raw materials like plastic pellets or wood powder to the giant machines that press, shape, and finish the seat, you'll see every step. You might think making a toilet seat is simple, but the process is full of heat, pressure, and even chemicals you've probably never heard of. It's way more intense than most people expect. And hey, if you enjoy learning how everyday things are made, hit that subscribe button. We're on a mission to reach our first 1,000 subscribers. The first step in making a toilet seat starts with raw materials. For plastic seats, factories use small plastic pellets, usually made from a type of plastic called polypropylene or polystyrene. These tiny pieces look like white beads and arrive in huge bags. The pellets are poured into a giant machine called a hopper. From there, they're fed into a heating chamber where they're melted down into thick, gooey liquid plastic. For wooden toilet seats, it's a bit different. They use a mix of wood powder, plastic resin, and a small amount of waxy material called zinc stearate. This mix is dry at first, but will soon be transformed into a solid, smooth seat. Once the plastic is melted into a thick liquid, it's ready for shaping. This is where injection molding comes in, a key part of the process. The hot melted plastic is pushed into a steel mold shaped like a toilet seat. This mold is split into two halves, and when they close together, they form the full shape. The machine injects the plastic with very high pressure, making sure every corner of the mold gets filled. It all happens in just a few seconds. These molds are super strong and built to handle extreme heat and pressure. Some molds even have built-in cooling channels to help the plastic harden faster. After the seat shape is filled, the mold is cooled down and slowly opened. Out pops a rough version of the toilet seat, still hot, but now solid. If the seat has a lid, that part is molded the same way, in a separate mold. This step is fast, precise, and kind of satisfying to watch in action. After the plastic is injected into the mold, it needs time to cool and harden. This step is called cooling and solidification. Even though it looks like the toilet seat is ready, it's still very warm and soft right after molding. To speed things up, the molds have cold water running through built-in channels. This helps bring down the temperature fast and evenly. If the seat cools too quickly or unevenly, it could bend or crack, so this part is super important. Once it's cool enough, the machine opens the mold and a robot arm or worker removes the seat. At this stage, the seat looks rough. There might be small bits of extra plastic, called flash, around the edges that need to be trimmed off. Now, the plastic seat has its shape, but it's not ready to go on a toilet just yet. Next, let's look at how wooden seats are made. Wooden toilet seats aren't made from solid wood like a chair. Instead, they're made from a powdery mix that includes wood flour, which is like sawdust, plastic resin, and a small amount of zinc stearate, a waxy substance that helps everything blend smoothly. These ingredients are mixed together until they form a dry, crumbly powder. It doesn't look like much at this stage, but it's the base for a strong and smooth seat. The powder is carefully measured and prepared for the molding machines. Just like with plastic, the goal is to press this mix into the perfect toilet seat shape using heat and pressure. Now that the mix is ready, it's time to mold it into something you can actually sit on. Once the wood powder mix is ready, it goes into a machine that looks like a giant press. The mixture is poured into a metal mold shaped like a toilet seat. Then, the machine closes the mold tightly and applies high heat and strong pressure. This is called compression molding. The heat melts the resin inside the powder, turning it into a thick, sticky paste. The pressure spreads that paste evenly across the mold, filling every curve and edge of the toilet seat shape. This part of the process takes a bit longer than plastic molding, usually around 30 to 60 seconds, to make sure the seat is solid and strong. Once it's fully formed, the mold opens up and the seat is carefully removed. Just like with plastic seats, there might be some extra material around the edges that needs to be cleaned up. But at this stage, The wooden seat is formed and ready for the next step, curing and hardening, which gives it long-lasting strength. To finish curing, the seat is placed in a heated oven or left to rest at room temperature, depending on the factory's process. This helps the resin inside fully harden and bond with the wood flour, making the seat tough and durable. This step is important because if the seat isn't cured properly, it could crack or warp over time. Once curing is complete, the seat is strong enough to be drilled, sanded, and painted. Now, both plastic and wooden toilet seats have their basic shape, but they're not finished yet. The next steps involve smoothing, painting, and putting everything together. Now it's time to make the seat smooth and ready to use. Workers or machines drill precise holes into each seat for the hinges that attach it to the toilet. Then, the edges are sanded down to remove any rough spots or extra material left from molding. This step makes sure the seat is comfortable, safe, and won't cause scratches or splinters when in use. Wooden toilet seats go through a special painting and coating process to make them look good and last longer. First, they get a layer of primer to help the paint stick. Then, they're sprayed with high-gloss enamel paint, often in white or soft colors. After painting, the seats are placed in a drying area or oven. This coating makes the seat water-resistant, smooth, and easy to clean. The final step is assembly. This is where the seat and lid, if included, are connected with metal or plastic hinges. The hinges are screwed in tightly to make sure they move smoothly but stay strong. After that, every toilet seat goes through testing. Machines open and close the seat hundreds of times to make sure the hinges won't break. Some people joke that workers test them by sitting down on the job. But don't worry, it's all done by machines. Before any toilet seat leaves the factory, it goes through quality assurance, a fancy way of saying everything gets double-checked. Workers and machines look for cracks, dents, or weak spots. They make sure the surface is smooth, the paint or coating is even, and the hinges are strong and properly attached. Some factories even use pressure tests to see how much weight a seat can handle. Spoiler alert, it's more than you'd expect. Plastic seats are checked for flexibility and strength. Wooden seats are tested to make sure they won't chip, peel, or absorb moisture. Any seat that doesn't pass these tests is rejected or recycled. It's a serious process because even something as simple as a toilet seat needs to be safe, strong, and made to last. Nobody wants a wobbly or broken seat. Toilet seat factories are also working to be more eco-friendly. Many now use recycled plastic to reduce waste, and leftover materials from molding, called scrap, are often melted down and reused. Wooden seats are sometimes made from reclaimed wood flour or byproducts from other industries, which helps cut down on waste. Some factories have systems to filter air and water used during production, keeping pollution low. Others aim to use less energy with modern, energy-efficient machines. So while toilet seats aren't usually seen as green products, the industry is taking small but smart steps to help the planet. Now you know, the everyday toilet seat goes through a surprisingly detailed process. From melting plastic and pressing wood powder to painting, testing, and assembly, there's a lot more going on than you'd ever guess. It's one of those things we all use but never really think about, until now. If you enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look at how things are made, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm trying to reach my first 1,000 subscribers, and your support means a lot.